Hi, my name is Shez. Actually, some people might know me as Cherie Scott. I'm a certified NVC trainer in Melbourne, Australia, and I'm really tickled to be here tonight with Tracy Adams in Queensland. Tracy's the author of this project, and Robert Krzyznik. How did I do? Great, thank you. And Sarah Beckman. And so we're here to share a bit more about these retreats in Australia that we're proposing to have. So you can be a bit more informed and to support you in making a choice to attend or not. So Tracy, would you be willing to just give us a short introduction to your passion for why this has called to you to organise?
Sure. Well, I've been practicing and studying NVC for about 11 years and I really love it. But all the time I've been practicing and learning, I've just always thought that it would be really, really enhanced by more body awareness and movement. Particularly because when we come to really tuning into what's going on for us in our inner world, our feelings and needs, and what's most truly alive and authentic in us, it's so supportive to sort of come directly to the body rather than through, our habitual thought patterns. And so often I've been to NVC workshops and I've loved the content, but my body is just going, oh, please, let's move. So yeah, kind of been looking around for opportunities for, ways to incorporate that. And I found out that Robert and Sarah had been developing some workshops where they incorporate simple movement from a dance form called Contact Improvisation, and I was really, really, really excited to do about that. And I started thinking about going over to Europe to join their workshops and thought, hey, I really want to influence the way NVC is taught, facilitated, learnt and practiced in Australia. So I asked them if they'd be willing to come here, and to my delight, they were. So started building up some networks between the Contact Improv communities and the NVC communities in Australia, with the idea of bringing these forms together and hopefully through these workshops making connections and opportunities for NVC trainers and Contact Improv trainers in Australia to connect and collaborate for workshops in the future. And already there's some excitement in both the NVC and the Contact communities around Australia about that. Yeah, so I'll let Robert and Sarah talk a little bit more about what they do and how they bring those things together.
Great, thanks, Tracy. And I just wanted to mention that you went to the Contact Improv Convergence and have had experience of this work yourself. So that's partly what informs your passion, is my sense.
Yeah.
One
of the things I love about Contact is it's a dance or a movement form, but it's entirely participatory and no prior experience is needed at all, like complete beginners. I have had a little bit of Contact experience, but pretty shy about it. And when I went to the Convergence back in June, I found myself initially apologising to everyone I was partnered with for being a beginner, and all the really experienced trainers I worked with said, absolutely do not apologise. We love beginners because it's about you move in fresh ways. You're not coming from a professional dance background. You're not moving in pre-patterned kind of forms. And just looking around the room, there were 90 people dancing. The diversity of how people move, from the most subtle, gentle, quiet, still movements through to big movements. So it's entirely up to you how you want to move, and it really is something for everybody. Previously at another gathering years ago, it was actually a Heart Politics gathering, and one of the facilitators introduced some Contact Improvisation dance, and one of the participants was a young guy in a wheelchair who had very little movement and control of his limbs, and somebody just brought him into the dance and started dancing with him in his wheelchair, and he was just in heaven, in delight, with that experience. So really, all you need is a willingness to want to move and touch.
Well, that's encouraging for me because I'm a physically challenged human being, and at first I was a bit nervous about, like, oh, I don't think I can do this. So I'm really opening up to what's possible for me through coming to understand that it's not about a performance as such, and that all levels are, and so Robert, I'd love to hear from you and Sarah. First of all, where are you in the world right now, Robert? I know you travel a lot with to do trainings, and I'm curious about where you are.
Hi, everybody. So I'm currently I'm in Slovenia, but which is my homeland. But I do a lot of traveling. So very soon I'll go to Austria, then to Czech Republic IIT, and I serve a lot as a trainer on the IITs, EICs, so all these 9-day trainings, and I'm doing in December this retreat together with Robert Gonzalez, which is very much into the depth of self-connection. It's called the Awakening to Life Intensive in Arizona. But personally, inside, I'm very much into finding ways to integrate this experience of human existence as much as possible. So to not have it fragmented, that it's, there is kind of a spiritual flow here, and then there is some mental understanding, and then there is some emotional stuff happening in me, and then body over there that is transporting my head from one room to another. But it's really a holistic, integrated experience, and how different modalities can support and enrich each other. And this is why this work that Sarah and me have been doing is so inspiring and so fulfilling for me, because it's such a deep and profound exploration of how to integrate our experience as fully as possible, so that we can then have this experience to be even more full and fulfilling.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you, and hello to everyone also from me. I'm Sarah. I'm in Vienna. I live here in Vienna, starting my work, or developing my work as a dancer and an NVC trainer. And I'm really passionate about this combination of bringing art and dance, movement, and the intelligence of the body together with this beautiful work of NVC. And for me, it's a very wide and rich possibility of connecting to our mind, body, and soul. So, to how Robert said it, to really explore life and our humanity through different angles, and to put things together. And for me, to work with the body and movement is also really important, because I think the body has all the intelligence already. So when we dive into our body intelligence, and that is what everyone can do, no matter how advanced someone is in dancing, or how fit someone is in moving. So we all live in a embodied being. So everyone has an access to this intelligence. And also, in combination or in relation to NVC, I think presence and empathy is something that lives through the body. And so I really think, or for me, it's really a wonderful combination to share with others and to explore with others. Yeah.
Thank you. And while you're on that topic of empathy and presence, I wondered if you could say something about the prerequisite for some NVC training. We're asking for a minimum of 2 days of training, and what that will contribute to people's experience of the retreat. either you or Robert. Robert's saying you do it, Sarah.
No,
Okay.
Robert is saying I can do it, but I'm happy if you do it as well.
Okay. I was misinterpreting your sign language.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the reason is that, of course, it is still a retreat that is exploring some elements that are key elements in nonviolent communication, like empathic receiving, honest, authentic self-expression, and self-connection. And if people have no knowledge or experience from before, then that means we would need to do a lot of explaining, which we would prefer not to do. So that lots of time is actually left for us experiencing. Also, we will be doing some, let's say, NVC processes that will involve people being in pairs and empathically receive each other or express themselves in a way that we understand in NVC to be a clear and honest. And again, so if people have at least a couple of days of, preferably more, but at least a couple of days of that, so they're familiar with this main concept, so that we don't have to do so much talking and so much teaching, this would be really supportive to the whole process, so we can quickly jump into this new realm of exploration.
Oh, great, thank you. I did have the other piece was about that there's not a prerequisite of dance experience or skill or contact improvisation experience. And in a way, I think we've kind of covered that a little bit, but I just wonder if there's anything more you'd like to add to that, Sarah.
I think not really. I think it's very clear that there is no prerequisite to this. And it's really, everyone is very welcome, and we also had already like many different people who have different backgrounds of how to move their body or how old, and so everyone is welcome. And I think it's just a matter of having an interest to dive into some body experience and movement experience. So,
sort of like discovery. Sorry, Robert.
Yeah. I just wanted to add maybe a couple of sentences. In my experience, the word dance freaks out many people because it's associated with some expertise, and we see all these great dancers, and then we compare ourselves and think, well, I'm not good enough, or I just like to bring into the space that basically we use this term very loosely here, that a dance is basically any sort of movement, and very often within contact improvisation you can be just basically dancing with another person just using your index fingers very slowly, and I think basically everybody can do that, and it is a dance because there is a contact, and we are improvising. We don't know where we are leading. So it's really more about movement, and movement to the extent that it's really enjoyable, rather than some specific jumping around and flying through air. So just to give some reassurance to people who get nervous when they hear the word dance.
Thank you. That's very clear and helpful. Where's my next bit? Oh, I wondered if you could give some idea of something that, that this retreat space has the potential for self-discovery and understanding and healing and transformation, I'm imagining too. And I'm just wondering, what have you witnessed or seen in, say, a participant that would give people an idea of something that's happened for someone in a retreat like this?
Yeah, I would like to share something that also is very passionate for me, and I have seen many people like being very inspired by this is the dance with obstacles and maybe, so to speak, anger and in life. So I think we all face anger and things that we don't like in life, and we call it maybe limitations, obstacles. And yeah, and we provided a very, for me, very exciting process where we had some inner work first with how to face obstacles and how to connect to the need behind, and then we had a dance basically with those obstacles in the way that actually another person is the obstacle in your path of life, so to speak. And in this idea, you could experience that actually this obstacle is a landscape, and you could dance around or even with this obstacle, and you can find out about, I mean, about the shape maybe, or the strength and stuff like this, and it becomes a totally different way of facing this, what you were saying as an obstacle or seeing as something you got really angry about. And I felt that this was really opening a new perspective for some or for many participants. And as we just talked about dance, there people always said, "Ah, wow, now I know, like, then I can dance with life, however it unfolds in front of me." So I think this was a very beautiful experience.
Thank you.
Can I add? I also remember just what Sarah was mentioning. I remember one participant sharing just exactly on this topic, saying like, wow, I just realized I've been fighting life all the time. And this was a very experienced NVC practitioner. She said, well, I've been fighting with life all the time. And now for the first time, I realized there are other ways. There are other ways to meet life when life is not performing in a way I'm expecting it to perform. And also, one thing that we very often hear is people really, participants really experiencing a way deeper ways of listening. Because we do a lot of practice in how can I really listen and follow another person without influencing, and which is a basic of empathic receiving. And very, very often participants will get a way more profound understanding and embodied experience of what it really means to listen, to receive, to follow another person. And on the other hand, also what it really means to be vulnerable and authentic. When in NVC, authentic self-expression is one of the key points. So just a deeper, not only intellectual understanding, but really embodied experience, so that next time I can actually check with a sense in my system, to what extent am I really being authentic right now? Because it actually shows in my body. I can sense somewhere in my system, am I now being authentic? Or am I putting up a mask and trying to impress people so that they will love me and la 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 la. So there are a few instances of how the understanding of nonviolent communication, the practice and experience of it can be so much deepened.
I love hearing that. I really.
And actually, I want to add another thing. I think I also experienced people being really released in a way by having the experience to connect with others without talking. Like having this kind of new option or new possibility to really be in a way in a dialogue and in a connection, in exchange, but not with words. And I felt this really gave a lot of people a new way of, wow, I can be connected to others, and it's so easy actually, and it has some joy and freedom without talking.
Yes, being together in silence can be really uncomfortable for some people. So, thank you. I really have a sense of, fleshing out the retreat and giving people a greater sense of what it would be like, and that there's the freedom to come however you are, wherever you are in your physicality, and a sense of what can happen for them while they're there. So thank you for that. And I guess to close, I'd like to invite people to fill out an expression of interest form. We're looking to finalise the decision about going ahead with this somewhere between the middle and end of November, hopefully sooner rather than later. And so if you could fill out an expression of interest form, that would be really helpful for us. And so with that, anything else for you, Tracy?
Yeah, just if you have any other general inquiries, you can contact Cherie or myself at the emails that'll be connected with this video.
Great, thank you. Okay, all right, with that, we'll sign off until next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.